So today we're going to talk about pH, probably the most important thing when it comes to maintaining your hot tub. For instance, sanitizer is generally the same thing every week. You shock it at the same time every week. But what is dynamic is your pH. And so a lot of people kind of fret over it because it is dynamic, but it's actually quite easy to adjust. And today we're going to show you how to do that. So what you need to adjust your pH, you're going to need a good pair of test strips. Out of all water care products that you can get, it is the only thing that actually has a true expiration date. So when you buy it, something you should probably look at. As you can see right here, these expire in about 2 years, so we're okay. The second thing you're going to need is a pH increaser and decreaser. You don't want to use anything really outside of this stuff. So you're going to need pH increaser and decreaser. What's great about this stuff, they're both granulated, so they're really safe to use. If you spill, it's not a big deal. And whenever you add any products to the water, you're going to want the jets on. So the first thing to do is we're going to test the water to see what the pH is at. So this water looks pretty good, but again, at least once a week you want to test the pH. So these test strips are instant read, so you want to read it immediately. And as you can see, the pH is right about 8.4, which is definitely a little too high. The pH of our skin and our eyeballs are 7.4. That's what our body likes. That's also what your hot tub likes. It's also the optimal range for your sanitizer to work. So this spa is about 400 gallons. And what's nice about these bottles, these are SpaGuard bottles. They actually show you how many gallons, they have a little chart that shows you the gallons of the spa and how much you should add based on what your reading is. We tested this, it's at 8.4. We want to go ahead and put in roughly 3 teaspoons of pH decreaser. Since it's high, we're going to use decreaser. If it was low, we're going to use increaser. Now this spa is equipped with a clean cycle. Not every spa is equipped with that. You're going to want to turn on at least the clean cycle. You always want to have jets on, and you want to put it right into the filter compartment. So we're going to actually put this right inside this area right here. We're going to turn on the clean cycle. You can see it's going. Now it's not imperative that you adjust it exactly what it says, because this is kind of a little bit of give and take. You're going to troubleshoot a little bit with this. So I'm going to put in roughly 3 teaspoons. I'm guesstimating here. And what we're going to do is we're going to let this run for about a minute, maybe a minute and a half, and we're going to retest it. Since these pumps move about 160 to 180 gallons a minute, you're actually going to get a very quick reading and adjustment. You don't have to, it's not like a pool where you got to wait all day to figure out what your pH is. All right, so it's been about a minute. We're going to retest it to kind of see where it's at. Again, I put in approximately 3 teaspoons. A good rule of thumb too is you'll start noticing after you owned a hot tub for a little while, knowing what trends the hot tub goes with. And what I mean by that is your pH tends to rise over time or it tends to fall over time, depending on what kind of water care system you're on. This happens to be a saltwater caldera hot tub, which means the pH tends to go up over time. So instead of trying to get it just inside the good range, you want to actually give yourself a little buffer room, because most people only test roughly once a week. So get it to the low side of the good range, and that way it'll give you some time before you have to adjust it again. So you can see here the pH looks like it's right about 7.2. We're done here. So the pH is adjusted. I don't even have to worry about this for a week. I'm going to let the clean cycle time out, and that's it. That's how easy it is to adjust your pH. I will say there are some instances, keep in mind, your pH does go, the scale goes up to 9 on most test strips. The actual true pH scale is 0 to 14. So if you're on the very high side or the very low side and you keep putting stuff in and it doesn't look like it's adjusting, it means your pH was a lot higher. Don't be afraid of using more than enough of this stuff to get it down in range. It's more important to get it in range, even if you're using half the bottle, than it is to be worried about using too much of this. So thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.